A few weeks ago, Vishal Garg, the CEO of Better.com, invited 900 people to a Zoom call, and what he said is that if you are one of the 900 people on this call, unfortunately, you are laid off. What can we learn from this story? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Some of you may have heard this story. I was completely shocked when I came across it, but the CEO of Better.com, Vishal Garg, basically called together a bunch of his employees, 900 of them, right before the holidays. And he said, hey everyone, I'm gonna start off this call by letting you know that if you're one of the people on this call, unfortunately you're being let go. He then accused hundreds of his employees on that phone call of stealing because apparently they were saying that they were working 8 hours, but really they were only clocking in 2 hours. And he did this right before the holidays. He did it right before, literally the day before the company received an extra $750 million in funding. And he did it when last year he received a $25 million cash bonus. This is insane. I cannot imagine that CEOs, that business leaders like this actually exist in the world, but they do. So let's talk about some of the things that we can learn from this interesting and I think quite terrible story of how a CEO didn't handle things the right way. Latest news actually is that he has taken some time away from the company because there's been a lot of backlash from employees who've been saying that the culture there is toxic, and even from customers who are saying, wait a minute, this is how you're treating your people? We do not want to interact or transact with you or with your brand. Other stories have also revealed that he has sent emails in the past where he has referred to his employees as, get this, dumb dolphins. Dumb dolphins. You can't make this stuff up. Who even thinks about calling their people a dumb dolphin? So again, this is just an unfortunate story. Lots of terrible things happening at this company, and this CEO is clearly doing things, I believe, the wrong way. So I wanted to go over some things that we can actually learn from this so that we cannot make this same mistake in the future inside of our organizations, or so that we as leaders don't make this mistake. The first thing that I think that we can learn is the importance of being human. Now, I'm not saying that layoffs are something that we never need to do. I have heard lots of stories of organizations who have made layoffs. In fact, I distinctly remember Arne Sorensen, the CEO of Marriott. He went publicly and he made this video where he was talking about having to lay off thousands of his employees. And you could actually see the tears in his eyes as he was going over this. He was doing this, by the way, as he was going cancer treatment, which he unfortunately passed away from earlier this year, a couple months ago. So as the CEO was going through cancer treatment, through chemotherapy, he made this video telling all his employees how deeply sorry and hurt he was, and you could see the tears in his eyes as he was telling people that he was going to have to let them go. If you need to let people go, whether it's layoffs or doing something one-on-one, do so in a human way. Just because you are letting people go doesn't mean you can't have empathy, doesn't mean you can't have kindness, doesn't mean that you can't have these human things, these human feelings, these human emotions. You don't need to be like the Terminator when you're letting people go at your company. That is not what it means to be a human leader or to put people first. The second thing that we can learn is timing matters. Why let go of people literally the day after your company receives $750 million in funding? Why let go of people literally right before the holidays, a week or two before the holidays? Why would you do this? This kind of goes back to the first point of being human. It just doesn't make any sense. Timing matters, whether you are giving people good news or whether you are giving people bad news. When you actually deliver that information and share that news makes a huge impact on who you are as a leader, on the morale, and on the culture that you create inside of your organization. The third thing that we can learn is that you should do everything in your power first before you let go of your people. I interviewed a lot of CEOs for my podcast and for my book, The Future Leader, and I remember two stories in particular that pop into mind. One of them is from Bob Chapman, the CEO of Barry-Wehmiller, 12,000 person manufacturing company. And he told me that even during the recession in 2008, they did not let go of a single human being. Even though his board and all his peers were telling him he needed to fire thousands of people, he didn't let go of anybody. Instead, he allowed his employees to come together to come up with ideas on how they could keep everybody. And they had a type of furlough program where some employees who didn't need as much money would be willing to take a little bit more time off so that others could work longer. And everybody came together, nobody had to get laid off. I also remember Per Eulenhammer, the CEO of Volvo, who told me that he also didn't let go of people. In fact, he would rather let go of one of his executives than he would let go of people that were working in the manufacturing facility. Lots of leaders like this exist who just refuse to let go of their people. They're willing to do whatever they can to keep them there. And when I hear this story of Better.com and Vishal Garg, I wonder, did he really do everything in his power to keep them there? He got a $25 million cash bonus last year. The company just raised $750 million. Did he do everything in his power to keep those people there? Or did he just look at his balance sheet and say, we're not meeting our numbers? Let's just let go of 900 people. Who cares? So again, do everything in your power first to take care of your people before letting them go. And number 4, we need to remember that the employee experience is reflected in the customer experience. If you don't treat your people well, guess what's gonna happen? Your customers are gonna find out, they're not gonna wanna interact with you or transact with you, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now with Better.com is they are losing market share and they are losing customers because this story is everywhere. It's trending on LinkedIn, it's trending on Twitter, it's all over the place of how this CEO is treating his people. And other stories are emerging of a toxic workplace culture, of how he is treating his people even before this happened. So the employee experience in this case and in many situations will be reflected in the customer experience as well. Now, I think there are a lot of other lessons that we can learn from this as well. These are 4 that stand out to me in particular. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about this story of Vishal Garg? Did you hear about it? What lessons do you think we can take away from it? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content just like this, along with interviews with some of the world's top business leaders, CEOs, and authors. I will see you next time. Thanks again for tuning into the show, and don't forget to go to 6leadershiptrends.com to grab a copy of my brand new PDF, which is going to walk you through the 6 trends that are shaping leadership and what it means to be a leader, and it will also give you action items for what you should be doing for each one of these 6 trends to adapt and evolve so that you can be a better leader in the future of work. Again, that is 6leadershiptrends.com. You can either spell out the number 6 in the URL or just use the number 6 in the URL. They will both take you to the same place. Thanks again for tuning in. All right, another color. What were your thoughts when you heard this story about? Okay, let me redo that, my goodness. And he told me that even during the recession in 2008, dog barking.